I was just a delivery girl working the night shift until I knocked on the wrong door and came face to face with the most dangerous man in the city. What happens when an ordinary woman accidentally becomes the weakness of a man who can't afford to have one? I wake up to the sound of my alarm clock ringing at 4:30 a.m. Another day, another dollar. My tiny apartment feels cold this morning, and I can hear the drip, drip, drip from the leaky spot in my ceiling. I need to put a bucket there again. I stretch and feel the ache in my back from yesterday's heavy packages. The delivery job at Moondrop pays just enough to keep food on my table and the lights on, but not enough to fix my ceiling or pay off my school loans. The water in my shower is barely warm. I stand under it anyway, letting it wash away the sleep from my eyes. My blue uniform hangs on the door, faded from too many washes. I pull it on and look in the mirror. Dark circles under my eyes stare back at me. I haven't had a good night's sleep in weeks. My coffee is instant, strong, and bitter. I drink it fast while looking at the pile of bills on my small kitchen table. Electric bill, phone bill, rent due next week. I sigh and stuff them in a drawer. I'll worry about them later. Outside, the city is still dark and quiet. A few cars move slowly on the streets. The air smells like rain and car exhaust. My old car makes a funny noise when I start it, but it still runs. For now. The delivery depot is bright and noisy when I arrive. Boxes and packages are stacked everywhere. People in blue uniforms like mine rush around with carts and hand trucks. "Morning, Maya," says Denny. He's been here longer than anyone and knows all the routes by heart. His gray hair sticks out from under his cap. "Got a full load for you today? All those fancy buildings on the north side." I nod and check my phone app. The list of deliveries scrolls down, down, down. It will be a long day. "Maybe one of those rich folks will give you a nice tip," Denny says with a wink. I try to smile, but it feels fake on my face. Rich people rarely notice delivery drivers, let alone tip us. I load my car with boxes of all sizes. Some are light, some are so heavy I have to use all my strength to lift them. My back already hurts, and my day hasn't even started yet. As I drive through the sleeping city, I think about how I got here. I had big plans once. College dreams, a career, maybe even my own home someday. Now I deliver other people's things at hours when most people are still deep in dreams. The first light of morning starts to show in the sky as I make my first stop. I grab a small box and head to the door. Another day begins. The same as yesterday. The same as tomorrow will be. Sometimes I wonder if anything will ever change. If I'll always be this tired girl in a blue uniform, invisible to the world. If my life will always feel this empty, this stuck. But for now, I have packages to deliver and bills to pay. Dreams are for people with time to sleep. The last package on my route feels heavy in my arms as I walk into the tall glass building. The sun isn't up yet, and the lobby lights are so bright they hurt my eyes. This is the kind of place where rich people live, all shiny floors and fancy plants. The kind of place I could never afford. I look for the doorman, but no one is at the desk. That's strange. These fancy buildings always have someone watching the door. I check the time on my phone. 5:15 a.m. Maybe it's too early even for doormen. I swipe my work card to get through the security gate. It beeps and turns green, letting me in. The package is for the top floor, the penthouse. Of course it is. Rich people always live at the top. The elevator is like nothing in my world. It's all mirrors and soft lights. I can see myself from every angle. My messy ponytail, the dark bags under my eyes, my wrinkled blue uniform with the coffee stain I couldn't wash out. I look tired. I am tired. The elevator numbers light up. 10, 11, 12, all the way to 30. The doors slide open with a soft ding. The hallway is quiet and smells like flowers and clean carpets. My shoes make no sound as I walk. Then I get confused. The hallway splits in two directions. My phone app should tell me where to go, but when I look at it, the screen is frozen. Great. Just my luck. Come on, I whisper, tapping the screen. Nothing happens. I have to make a choice. Left or right? I look both ways. The doors all look the same. Tall, dark wood with shiny gold numbers. I decide to go right. I find a door marked 3001. That matches my package label. I shift the heavy box to my hip and knock 3 times. I wait, looking down at my delivery form, ready to hand it over. The door opens slowly. Moondrop delivery for... I start to say, still looking down. Who sent you? A deep voice interrupts. It sounds cold and sharp, like ice breaking. I look up and my words stop in my throat. The man in front of me is tall, much taller than me. He's wearing a black suit that looks like it costs more than I make in a month. His face is all hard lines and angles, with dark eyes that look right through me. Even at this early hour, he looks wide awake and perfect, not a hair out of place. I have a delivery for 3001, I stammer, double-checking the label on the box. This is 3002, he says. His eyes narrow, looking at me like I'm a math problem he's trying to solve. Who are you working for? Before I can answer, I hear noise coming from inside his apartment, men's voices speaking fast in a language I don't know. The man turns his head slightly, and that's when I see it. The gun tucked under his suit jacket. My heart feels like it stops. My fingers go numb. This isn't a normal delivery. This isn't a normal man. I've seen enough crime shows to know what this looks like. Wait here, he says, not asking but telling. He takes the package from my hands like it weighs nothing. I should run. Every part of my brain is screaming at me to run, but my feet won't move. It's like they're stuck to the floor. The man opens the package carefully, not tearing the paper like most people do. Inside is not what should be there. The label said designer shoes, but what he pulls out is stacks and stacks of money, all bound together with rubber bands. His eyes meet mine again, and they're colder now. Dangerous. It seems we have a problem, he says quietly. Someone has used you to deliver something to me, someone who wants to stay hidden. Or perhaps, he looks right into my eyes, someone who wants me to think you're just an innocent delivery girl. I find my voice, though it comes out small and shaky. I don't know what's in the packages, I just deliver them. And yet, here you are, at the wrong door, with a very interesting delivery. He steps aside, opening the door wider. Come inside, we need to talk. The inside of his apartment is huge, with windows that show the whole city. The floors are dark wood. The furniture is all black and white. Everything looks expensive and clean. 3 men in dark suits stand by a large table. They all turn to look at me. Sir, is there a problem? One of them asks, his hand moving toward his jacket. Our guest brought an unexpected delivery? The tall man says, putting the money on the table. I want to know who sent it. I told you, I don't know, I say, trying to sound brave. I just go where the app tells me. Your app, he says, holding out his hand. Show me. I give him my phone. His fingers move quickly over the screen. This address isn't even in your route, he says after a moment. Your last delivery should have been 10 blocks from here. My stomach drops. How could that be? I checked my route this morning. Someone changed it. I whisper, more to myself than to him. But why would anyone do that? The man hands my phone back. That's what we're going to find out. He points to a chair. Sit. I sit. The chair is soft leather, nicer than any furniture I've ever owned. One of the men brings me a glass of water. My hands shake as I take it. What's your name? The tall man asks. Maya, I say. Maya Chen. Well, Maya Chen, I'm Alexei Volkov. He sits across from me watching my face. Does my name mean anything to you? I shake my head. Good, he says, though I don't understand why that's good. Now tell me everything about this delivery. Who gave you the package? Was anything strange about it? As I answer his questions, telling him about the normal morning at the depot, the regular routine, I realize something terrible. I've stumbled into something dangerous, something I wasn't supposed to see, and the man sitting across from me, with his cold eyes and hidden gun, holds my life in his hands. What started as a normal day has turned into something from a nightmare, and I have no idea how to wake up. 7 days have passed since I knocked on the wrong door. 7 days since I met Alexei Volkov. 7 days since my life turned upside down. I still go to my apartment each night, but I no longer feel free. Each morning, a black car waits for me outside. Each day, I do what Alexei tells me to do. Until we find who set you up, you stay close. He had told me that first day, his voice leaving no room for me to say no. You'll work as my personal courier. You'll be paid well. It wasn't a question. It wasn't an offer. It was how things would be. The morning air is cool on my face as I step out of my building. The same black car sits by the curb. Engine running. The same driver stands by the back door, opening it as I approach. His name is Marco. He never smiles. Good morning, Miss Chen, he says, same as every day. I slide into the back seat. The leather is soft and smells new. Everything in Alexei's world is like that. Expensive, perfect, cold. The car takes me to Alexei's building. Not to the front door like a normal visitor, but to a private entrance in the back. Another man waits there, tall with a scar on his cheek. I've learned his name is Dmitri. He leads me to a private elevator that goes straight to Alexei's penthouse. Alexei is already up, of course. He stands by the window, looking out at the city like he owns it. Maybe he does, in a way I don't understand. Maya, he says, not turning around. There's coffee on the table. I pour myself a cup. The coffee here is nothing like the instant stuff I used to drink. It's rich and dark and perfect, like everything else. I have a job for you today, Alexei says, finally turning to face me. He's wearing another perfect suit, dark blue this time. You'll take a package to the east side, to a restaurant called the Golden Dragon. He hands me a small box wrapped in brown paper. It's light, whatever is inside. What is it? I ask before I can stop myself. His eyes meet mine. They're dark and deep, like wells you could fall into forever. It's better if you don't know, he says. Safer. I take the box. My hands don't shake anymore when he gives me things. That's new. Marco will drive you, Alexei continues. You'll go in alone. Ask for Mr. Lee. Give him the package, then leave. Don't stay for tea if he offers. Don't answer questions. Just deliver and go. I nod, putting the box in my bag. This is how it's been all week. Strange deliveries to strange places. Men who look at me with surprise when I walk in. A small woman in plain clothes, carrying messages from Alexei Volkov. After you'll come back here, he says. We have a meeting this afternoon. I want you there. That's new. I've never been to his meetings before. Why? I ask. A small smile touches his lips. There and gone so fast I almost miss it. Because you see things others don't, he says. You notice details. The ride to the Golden Dragon is quiet. Marco never talks much. The streets pass by outside the window, streets I used to walk every day, now seen from behind tinted glass. The restaurant is small and plain from the outside. Inside, it smells like spices and cooking oil. An old woman leads me to a back room where a thin man in glasses sits alone at a table. Mr. Lee, I guess. Mr. Volkov sends this, I say, placing the package on the table. Mr. Lee looks at me for a long time before taking the box. His hands are spotted with age, his fingers long and thin. You're new, he says. I remember Alexei's instructions. No talking, no tea, just deliver and go. Yes, I say, turning to leave. Be careful, girl, Mr. Lee says to my back. His world swallows people whole. I don't answer. I walk out, feeling cold despite the warm air in the restaurant. Back to the car, back to Marco, back to Alexei. When we return to the penthouse, Alexei is talking with two men I haven't met before. They all stop when I walk in. Ah, Maya, Alexei says. How is Mr. Lee? Fine, I say. He said I was new. Alexei nods. Did he say anything else? I hesitate, then decide truth is safer than lies. He said to be careful, that your world swallows people whole. The two strangers exchange looks. Alexei just smiles. And what do you think of my world so far, Maya Chen? What do I think? I think it's beautiful and terrible. I think it's full of danger. I think I should be more scared than I am. It's different, I say at last. Different, he repeats, as if tasting the word. Yes, I suppose it is. The meeting happens in a big room with a long table. Men and a few women sit around it, all in expensive clothes, all with hard eyes. I stand in the corner, watching, listening. They talk about territories and shipments and profits. I don't understand half of it, but I watch their faces, their hands, the way they look at each other. One man keeps checking his watch. Another sweats too much. A woman with red nails taps the table when certain names are mentioned. After, when everyone has gone, Alexei calls me to him. What did you notice? He asks. I tell him about the watch, the sweat, the tapping nails. He listens, nodding slowly. Good, he says when I finish. Very good. Why am I here? I ask suddenly. Why keep me around? You could have just let me go that first day. Could I? He stands, moving to the bar to pour 2 drinks. He hands me one. The glass is heavy in my hand. Someone sent you to my door with a fortune in cash. Someone who knows my routines, my security. That makes you either bait or a weapon. Either way, I want you where I can see you. I take a sip of the drink. It burns my throat. And if you never find who sent me? His eyes hold mine. Then I suppose you'll be part of my world for a very long time. I should hate that idea. I should be planning my escape. Instead, I find myself wondering what it would be like to stay, to learn more about this strange man with his perfect suits and dangerous eyes. I need to go home, I say, putting down the glass. Of course, Alexei says. Marco will drive you. At the door, he stops me with a light touch on my arm. Tomorrow, we're attending an event. Wear something nice. He hands me an envelope. For a dress. Something black, I think. The envelope is thick with cash. More money than I've ever held. I can't take this, I say. You can, he says. You will. Later, in my small apartment, I open the envelope and count the money. Enough for 10 dresses? Not one. I sit on my bed, looking at the cash spread around me. I should run. I should call the police. I should do anything but what I'm doing, counting money from a dangerous man and thinking about what dress to buy. The thing that scares me most isn't Alexei or his men or the strange world I've stumbled into. The thing that scares me most is how quickly I'm getting used to it all. How I'm starting to look forward to the black car each morning. How I notice when Alexei enters a room before anyone else does. Mr. Lee was right. This world could swallow me whole. And the most frightening part is that I might let it. 3 months have passed since I first knocked on Alexei's door. The seasons have changed, and so have I. The black car no longer feels strange. The penthouse no longer makes me stare in wonder. Alexei's men no longer frighten me with their hard eyes and hidden guns. I still deliver packages, but now I also sit in meetings. I still go to my apartment each night, but it feels less and less like home. Today, Alexei and I walk through an art gallery. The walls are white and tall, covered with paintings worth more than I'll earn in 10 lifetimes. Light pours in from big windows, making the wooden floors glow golden. "This one," Alexei says, stopping in front of a painting of the sea. "What do you think?" I look at the swirls of blue and gray, the hint of a ship far away. "It's sad," I say. "Lonely." He turns to me with surprise in his eyes. "Most people say it's peaceful." I shrug. "The ship is too far from shore, too small against all that water." A small smile touches his lips. "You see things differently, Maya. Is that good?" "It's valuable," he answers, which isn't the same thing. A man approaches us, walking fast with a big smile that doesn't reach his eyes. "Mr. Volkov, I didn't know you would be visiting today." Alexei's face changes, becomes harder. "Mr. Daniels, I wanted to see the new collection." They talk about art and money and shipping dates. I watch Mr. Daniels closely. He never looks at Alexei for more than a second. His right hand keeps touching his tie, straightening it over and over. When he talks about delivery times, his voice gets higher. Later, back in the car, Alexei asks, "What did you think of Mr. Daniels?" "He was lying," I say before I can stop myself. Alexei turns to face me fully. "About what?" "The shipping dates." He kept fixing his tie when he talked about them, and his voice changed. "My old teacher said that happens when people lie." Alexei watches me for a long moment. Then he takes out his phone and makes a call. "Check the gallery shipping records," he says to whoever answers. "I want to know what's really coming in next week." When he hangs up, he's smiling. "I knew you were special that first day, Maya Chen." The word makes my chest feel warm. Special. No one has called me that before. That night, we visit a restaurant on the top floor of a hotel. The whole city spreads out below us, a sea of lights in the darkness. I'm wearing a new dress, black and simple but made of stuff so soft it feels like water against my skin. My hair is up, my shoes have heels, my nails are painted red. I look nothing like the girl who used to deliver packages at dawn. "Wine?" Alexei asks, holding up a bottle. I nod, watching as he pours the dark red liquid into my glass. His hands are strong but gentle, with a small scar across the right knuckles. I've started noticing these details about him, the way his eyes crinkle when he's truly amused. Not just being polite, the way he always straightens his cuffs before important meetings, the way he speaks more softly when it's just the two of us. 3 months, he says, raising his glass. You've survived 3 months in my world. I raise my glass too. Is that a record? For someone who didn't choose to enter it? Yes. The wine tastes rich and warm. Who says I didn't choose? He puts down his glass, studying me. You knocked on the wrong door, Maya. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe, I say, looking out at the city. Or maybe it was the right place, just not in a way I understood then. His eyes soften. And now? Do you understand now? Do I? I understand that Alexei's business isn't just art galleries and fancy restaurants. I understand that the packages I deliver aren't always legal. I understand that the men who fear him have good reason. But I also understand that he listens when I speak, that he values what I see, that he treats me not like a prisoner anymore, but like something else, something important. I'm starting to, I answer. After dinner, a woman approaches our table. She's beautiful in a sharp way, all angles and red lips and knowing eyes. Alexei, she says, her voice like honey. It's been too long. Alexei stands, kissing her cheek. Sophia, I didn't know you were in town. Just for a few days, she says, her eyes sliding to me. And who is this? Maya Chen, Alexei says. My associate. Associate. The word feels both right and wrong. Sophia smiles, but it doesn't warm her eyes. How interesting. I didn't know you were hiring associates these days. Something in her tone makes my skin prickle. There's history here, between her and Alexei. I can see it in the way they stand. Not too close, but not far enough apart. Maya has a unique perspective, Alexei says. She sees things others miss. Does she? Sophia turns that cold smile on me. And what do you see when you look at me, Maya Chen? I meet her gaze. I see someone who's angry but trying to hide it. Someone who doesn't like surprises. Sophia's smile drops for just a second, then returns brighter and faker than before. Charming, she says to Alexei. Truly charming. After she leaves, I ask, who is she? An old friend, Alexei says, but I can tell there's more to it. She works in the same business, you might say. She doesn't like me. Alexei's mouth quirks up at one corner. Sophia doesn't like anyone who has my attention. The words hang between us, heavy with meaning I'm not sure I'm ready to explore. The next morning, Alexei takes me to his office in a tall building downtown. It's all glass and steel, cold and clean. His real work happens at the penthouse, I know, but this is where he meets with people from the normal world, bankers and lawyers and business people. I want you to sit in on this meeting, he says as we ride up in the elevator. The man we're meeting, Mr. Foster, wants to invest in one of my companies. I need to know if he's being honest. The meeting room has a long table and tall windows. Mr. Mikhail Foster is already there, a round man with a red face and quick smile. 2 other men in suits sit with him. I take a seat in the corner, watching as they talk about money and stocks and business plans. Mr. Foster talks fast and laughs a lot. His eyes dart around the room but rarely land on Alexei. When Foster leaves to take a phone call, Alexei comes to my side. Well? He's hiding something, I say softly. He keeps looking at the shorter man when you ask hard questions, like he needs help with answers. And he touches his wedding ring when he talks about having enough money. Alexei nods slowly. That matches what we found. His company is in trouble. He needs this deal more than he's letting on. Is that bad? It gives me an advantage, Alexei says. One I wouldn't have seen without you. Later that day, as we drive back to the penthouse, Alexei seems lost in thought. The city passes by outside, gray and busy in the afternoon light. How did someone like you end up delivering packages at 4 a.m? He asks suddenly. Someone like me? Someone observant, smart. He turns to look at me. Someone wasted on such a job. No one has ever asked me this before. No one has ever cared enough to wonder. So I tell him about my mom getting sick when I was in college, about the medical bills that ate up all our savings, about dropping out to work, to care for her, about the string of jobs that led nowhere, about the tiny apartment and the leaky ceiling and the bills that never stop coming. Alexei listens without interrupting. When I finish, he's quiet for a long time. I grew up with nothing, he says finally. On the streets of a city colder than this one, hungry, afraid, until I decided not to be afraid anymore. I look at him, this powerful man in his perfect suit, and try to imagine him as a hungry boy. It's hard to see, but somewhere in his eyes, I think that boy still lives. We're not so different, you and I, he says softly. The car turns a corner and suddenly there's a crash of metal and breaking glass. Another car slams into ours from the side. My head hits the window. Everything spins. I hear shouting, then the pop, pop, pop of gunshots. Alexei throws himself over me, his body heavy and solid, shielding me as the window above us shatters. Glass rains down on his back. I smell his cologne, feel his heart beating fast against mine. More shots, men yelling, then tires screaming as a car speeds away. Alexei lifts himself slightly, looking down at me. "Are you hurt?" His voice is rough, his eyes wild with something I've never seen in them before. Fear. "No," I whisper. "Are you?" He doesn't answer, just keeps looking at me like he can't believe I'm real. His hand comes up to touch my face, gentle against my cheek. "They could have killed you." "They were trying to kill you," I say. "Why did you cover me?" "You could have been shot." Something passes across his face, something soft and surprised. "Because you've become valuable to me." The word again. Valuable. But this time, it feels different. This time, it feels like it might mean something else entirely. The Moondrop Depot smells the same: cardboard boxes, coffee, and the sweat of tired workers. I push open the door, feeling strange in my nice clothes. I still work here 2 mornings a week, keeping up what Alexei calls normal appearances. But nothing feels normal anymore. Denny looks up from his clipboard, his bushy eyebrows rising when he sees me. Well, look who's here early for once." I smile, trying to act like the same Maya who used to drag herself in with dark circles under her eyes. "Couldn't sleep," I say, which isn't a lie. "I haven't slept well since the car attack 3 weeks ago." Denny puts down his clipboard and walks closer. He lowers his voice. "Can we talk?" "Break room?" The break room is empty this early. The coffee pot bubbles, making the small space smell bitter and warm. I sit at the wobbly table, running my finger over the scratches in the surface. "What's up?" I ask, trying to sound casual. Denny sits across from me, his old face serious. "You need to end whatever this is," he says. "People are talking, Maya. They know you're involved with Volkov." My heart jumps at Alexei's name. "It's not what you think," I say, though I'm not sure what it is anymore. "Doesn't matter what I think," Denny shakes his head. "The police came asking questions yesterday. About your deliveries. About that package." My mouth goes dry. "What package?" "The one from that day. The one that started all this." Denny leans forward. "What did you get yourself into, kid?" "Nothing," I say too quickly. "I'm fine. Everything's fine." Denny's eyes are sad. "No, it's not. You look better dressed, sure, but your eyes..." He sighs. "You're in danger, Maya." "What did you tell them?" I ask. "The police?" "Nothing. But they'll be back." He reaches across the table, puts his rough hand over mine. "You're in over your head." I pull my hand away, stand up. "I have to go." "Maya," Denny calls as I reach the door. "These people, Volkov's people, they're not your friends. When things go bad, and they will, you'll be the one who pays." His words follow me like a shadow as I leave the depot. Outside, Marco waits in the black car, just like always. Just like Denny predicted. That evening, I'm putting my key in my apartment door when a woman's voice says, "Ms. Chen." I turn quickly. A woman stands in the hallway, her hands in the pockets of her long coat. Her face is sharp, her eyes tired but alert. "Can I help you?" I ask, though I already know who she is. She pulls out a badge. "Detective Rivera, I'd like to ask you some questions." I glance down the hallway. Somewhere, I know, one of Alexei's men is watching. "I'm kind of busy right now." "This won't take long." She steps closer. "We know you're working for Volkov. We know about the delivery, the money, all of it." My hand tightens on my key. "I don't know what you're talking about. Don't you?" She tilts her head. 3 months ago, you were a delivery driver making minimum wage. Now you ride in a car with known criminals, wear clothes that cost more than your rent, and only work your old job enough to keep up appearances. That's quite a change, Ms. Chen. I say nothing, just stare at her. We can help you, she says, her voice softer. We can offer protection if you cooperate. I don't need protection, I say, thinking of Alexei's men watching us right now. Don't you? Her eyes are knowing. 3 of Volkov's associates were found dead last week. It's only a matter of time before his enemies, or the law, catch up to him. When that happens, you don't want to be standing too close. I swallow hard. If that's all, I need to get ready. I have plans tonight. With Volkov, I assume. She hands me a card. When you're ready to talk, call me, before it's too late. I take the card, if only to make her leave faster. Inside my apartment, I lean against the door. My heart beating too fast. 3 associates dead. I didn't know. Alexei didn't tell me. The card feels heavy in my hand. I should throw it away. Instead, I tuck it into the back of my wallet, behind an old photo of my mother. 2 hours later, I'm in a sparkling ballroom, surrounded by people in fancy clothes. Alexei stands beside me in a perfect black suit, his hand resting lightly on my lower back. The touch feels warm through the thin fabric of my dress. The mayor will be here soon, he says close to my ear. Be sure to notice who speaks to him and how. I nod, taking a sip of champagne. This is how it works now. I go where Alexei goes. I watch what he tells me to watch. I tell him what I see. Detective Rivera's words echo in my head. When it all goes bad, you'll be the one who pays. The room is hot with too many bodies. Music plays from somewhere, soft and sweet. People laugh and talk, their voices rising and falling like waves. I feel out of place among them, like a sparrow among peacocks. You're quiet tonight, Alexei says, his eyes on my face. Just watching, I say. And what do you see? I look around the room. The man by the window has a gun under his jacket. The woman in red is on her 3rd drink and getting loud. The waiter over there keeps looking at the exits. Alexei smiles, pleased with my observations. And what about me? What do you see when you look at me? I meet his eyes, dark and deep. I see someone who's worried but trying not to show it. His smile fades. What makes you say that? You've checked your phone 12 times in the last hour. You keep scanning the room like you're looking for someone, and you're standing between me and the main door. He's quiet for a moment. Perhaps I've taught you too well, he says finally. Or perhaps I was always good at seeing. I take another sip of champagne. Why didn't you tell me about the 3 men who were killed? Alexei's face goes still. Who told you about that? Does it matter? It's true, isn't it? He takes my arm, guiding me to a quiet corner. Yes, it's true. They were killed because someone is moving against me. That's why I'm careful. That's why I keep you close. To protect me? I ask. His eyes soften. Yes. And because you're valuable to me. There's that word again. Valuable. But what does it really mean to him? A waiter approaches with a tray of champagne. Something about his walk catches my eye. Too purposeful. Too focused on us. His hand moves toward his jacket. Without thinking, I knock the tray from his hands. Glass shatters, champagne splashes. People turn to stare. The waiter's face twists in anger, and for a split second, I see his hand grasp something inside his jacket. Then, Alexei's security team is there, grabbing the man, dragging him away. It happens so fast, most of the party guests think it was just a clumsy accident. Alexei pulls me outside to a quiet balcony. The night air is cool on my hot face. His hands grip my shoulders. How did you know? He asks, his voice tight. His walk was wrong, I say, still shaking. Too direct. And he wasn't looking at the tray. He was looking at you. Alexei's phone buzzes. He answers, listens, his face growing darker. When he hangs up, he looks at me with new eyes. The champagne was poisoned, he says. You saved my life. I feel cold despite the warm night. Who was he? Someone who works for my enemies. Alexei's hand touches my face gently. How did you know, Maya? Really? I think about it, about the feeling that came over me when I saw the waiter. The same way I knew the man in your gallery was lying, the same way I know when people are afraid of you. I notice things. I meet his eyes, especially things that might hurt you. His hand slides down to rest on my neck, his thumb brushing my jawline. Perhaps I've been the one in danger since the moment you knocked on my door. The way he looks at me makes my heart beat faster. Not with fear, but with something else. Something I'm afraid to name. Later, as we ride home in the back of his car, Alexei is quiet, looking out at the dark city streets. I think about Denny's warning, about Detective Rivera's card in my wallet, about the waiter with poisoned champagne. Everyone thinks I should stay away from you, I say softly. Alexei turns to look at me. Everyone is probably right. But you don't want me to. His eyes hold mine in the dim light. No, he says simply. I don't. And despite all the warnings, despite the danger, despite everything I know about who he is and what he does, I don't want to either. That scares me more than any threat, any enemy, any poison. It scares me because it feels like falling, and I don't know where I'll land. 6 months since I knocked on the wrong door. 6 months since I met Alexei. 6 months since my life changed forever. I barely know the person I see in the mirror anymore. My hair is different. Cut in a sleek style that falls just below my chin. My clothes are different. No more faded jeans and worn-out shirts. My eyes are different. Sharper now. Always watching. Always seeing. Today I visit my mother at her new home, a sunny place with gardens and kind nurses. Alexei arranged it all, paid for it without even asking me. It's nothing, he said when I tried to thank him. But it wasn't nothing. It was everything. Mom sits in a chair by the window, her thin hands folded in her lap. She looks better than she has in years. Her cheeks have color. Her eyes are bright. The expensive medicines are working. Maya, she smiles when she sees me. You look so beautiful. I kiss her cheek, breathing in her familiar smell, now mixed with flowers from the garden. How are you feeling today? Good, good. The doctor says my numbers are better. She studies my face, touching my cheek gently. But you look tired. Are you sleeping enough? I nod, though it's a lie. I don't sleep much these days. Too many thoughts. Too many worries. You look different, she says, her head tilting. There's something in your eyes now. I smile, trying to look normal, trying to be her daughter and not the person I've become. Just tired from work. Ah yes, your new job. She nods. The one you never really explain. I've told her I work for a businessman now, as a kind of assistant. It's close enough to the truth without being the whole truth. It's going well, I say. He values my work. And what about friends? Are you seeing anyone? She asks, her eyes hopeful. I think of Alexei, of his hand on my back, his eyes watching me across rooms. What would I call what's between us? Not friendship. Not exactly business. Something else that has no name. Not really, I answer. I'm focused on work. She sighs. You're young, Maya. Don't spend all your time working. Find some joy. I want to tell her that I do feel something like joy sometimes, in strange moments. When Alexei laughs at something I say, when I spot a detail no one else notices, when we sit quietly in his car watching the city go by. But it's all mixed up with fear and danger and knowing things I shouldn't know. When I leave, I kiss her goodbye and promise to visit soon. In the hallway, I pass Marco, who waits for me as always. He nods, but says nothing. He never asks about my mother, and I'm glad. I want to keep these worlds separate. Her world of gardens and nurses, and my world of black cars and hidden guns. That night, back at Alexei's penthouse, I stand on the balcony looking out at the lights of the city. The air is cool, and far below, cars move like tiny toys. From up here, everything looks small and simple. Inside, I can hear Alexei on the phone, his voice low and hard. I've learned when to leave the room, when to give him privacy. I've learned to read his moods, to see the tiny changes in his face that tell me when something is wrong. I've learned too much. The glass door slides open and Alexei joins me on the balcony. He stands beside me, not touching but close enough that I can feel his warmth. "Your mother is well?" he asks. I nod. "Yes. Thank you again for—" He waves away my thanks. "It's nothing." We stand in silence for a while, watching the city. I can tell something is on his mind. His jaw is tight, his shoulders stiff. "What's wrong?" I ask finally. He looks at me, surprise flickering in his eyes. Then he smiles slightly. "I can hide nothing from you anymore, can I?" "No," I say simply. "You can't." He turns back to the view. "There's a shipment coming in tomorrow night. Very valuable. Very important to certain people." I know enough now to understand what he's not saying. Not a legal shipment. Not normal goods. "Will it be dangerous?" I ask. "It's always dangerous," he says. Then, after a pause, "But this time, more so." I feel cold suddenly despite the mild night. "Because of your enemies? The ones who tried to poison you?" "Yes." He turns to face me fully now. "Maya, I want you to stay here tomorrow night. Don't leave the penthouse. My security will be with you." Fear grips my chest. "Where will you be?" "At the docks. I need to oversee this personally." "Let me come with you," I say quickly, surprised by my own words. He shakes his head. "No, absolutely not. I can help. I see things others don't. You've said so yourself." "This isn't a business meeting or a party," he says, his voice sharper now. "This is my world, Maya. The real one. The one I've kept you apart from." "Have you?" I laugh without humor. "I deliver your packages. I sit in your meetings. I help you know who's lying and who's afraid. I'm already in your world." His eyes darken. Not this part of it. Later that night, I can't sleep. I toss and turn in the guest room that has become mine at Alexei's penthouse. I still have my apartment, but I rarely go there now. It feels less like home than this room, with its soft bed and view of the city. I think about my mother's face, about Detective Rivera's warnings, about Denny's sad eyes. I think about who I was 6 months ago, and who I am now. I get up and walk to the window, pressing my hand against the cool glass. Below me, the city sleeps. Somewhere out there are the docks where Alexei will be tomorrow night. Somewhere out there are his enemies, waiting and watching. A sound makes me turn. Alexei stands in the doorway, his hair mussed from sleep, wearing just pajama pants. I've never seen him like this, not fully dressed and perfect. "Can't sleep?" he asks. I shake my head. Too many thoughts. He walks in, sits on the edge of my bed. "About what?" "Everything," I say. "My mother. My old life. This life. You." His eyes catch mine in the dim light. "Me?" I sit beside him, not too close. "I heard you on the phone earlier. You said the competitor's warehouse needs to be neutralized. You said no witnesses." His face goes still. "You shouldn't listen to my calls." "Are you going to hurt those people?" "This is my world, Maya." His voice is hard now. "You knew this when you stayed." "I stayed because I had no choice. The words burst out of me. You kept me here. You made me part of this. We both know that's no longer true. He stands up, moves to the window where I was just standing. You could leave. At any time. Go back to your old life. Go to the police. Tell them everything you know about me. He's right. And we both know it. Somewhere along the way, the invisible chains that kept me here turned into something else. Something I chose. A place where people die? I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. Where I pretend not to notice the blood on your hands. Pain flashes across his face. Do you think your world is so clean? The corporations that crushed you with debt? The healthcare system that bankrupted your mother? They destroy lives too, just with paperwork instead of bullets. That doesn't make this right, I say. No, he agrees quietly, but it makes it complicated. We look at each other across the room, the air heavy between us. I see him clearly in this moment, not just the powerful man in perfect suits, but the boy who grew up with nothing, who fought for everything he has, who built a world where he never has to be afraid or hungry again. I see him, and I see what loving him would mean. Where will you go? He asks, his voice carefully empty of emotion. I don't know. Away from this. From you. He nods once, his face like stone. But his eyes tell a different story. They look at me with a pain so raw it takes my breath away. I pack a small bag that night, just enough clothes for a few days. I don't know where I'll go after that. Back to my apartment maybe. Back to full-time at Moondrop. Back to my old life, though I'm not the same person who lived it before. Alexei watches from the doorway of my room, his face unreadable now. I'll have Marco drive you wherever you want to go. I can call a cab. Please, he says, and the word sounds strange from his lips. Let me know you arrive safely at least. I nod, unable to speak past the lump in my throat. At the door, he stops me with a gentle hand on my arm. Maya. His voice is rough. If I asked you to stay? If I promised to change? To be different? I look up at him, this man who has become the center of my world without me even noticing. Would you? Would you really stop being who you are? His silence is answer enough. I walk out the door, tears streaming down my face, not knowing if I'm making the biggest mistake of my life or finally doing something right. 3 weeks of freedom feels like drowning. My apartment is exactly as I left it. Small, plain, with the water stain on the ceiling that looks like a map of somewhere I've never been. I go back to work at Moondrop full-time, lifting boxes, driving the same routes, smiling at customers who don't smile back. I do all the things I used to do before I knocked on Alexei's door. But I am not the same person who did these things before. I jump at shadows now. I notice when the same car passes me twice. I can't sleep without checking that my door is locked 3 times. I find myself watching people's hands, their eyes, the way they move, always looking for danger. And I miss him. I miss his voice, his rare smile, the way he would turn to me in a room full of people to see if I had noticed what he noticed. I miss the safety of his world even as I hated the things that happened in it. Rain falls outside my window on a gray Tuesday morning. I've just come home from the early shift, my hair still wet from the shower at the depot. My wet uniform hangs in the bathroom, my feet hurt from standing all day. There's a knock at my door. I freeze, my coffee cup halfway to my lips. No one knocks on my door. I have no friends here anymore. They all drifted away when I started spending all my time with Alexei. I move to the door quietly, look through the peephole. No one there. Another knock, softer this time. Who is it? I call, my hand on the doorknob, ready to run if I need to. No answer. Slowly, I open the door just a crack, chain still in place. A large envelope sits on the floor. Plain brown. No writing. No marks. I pick it up with shaking hands, close, and lock the door quickly. The envelope is heavy, whatever is inside shifting as I move it. I tear it open, turn it upside down over my kitchen table. Photos spill out, dozens of them. Me walking to work. Me getting coffee. Me talking to Denny outside the depot. Me visiting my mother at her care home. And one of my mother, sitting alone in the garden of her care home, unaware she's being watched. My blood turns to ice. I flip through the photos faster now, looking for a note, a message, anything to explain who sent these and why. The last photo makes me sink into a chair, my legs suddenly too weak to hold me. It's Alexei, getting out of his car at the docks. The image is dated last night, when the shipment was due to arrive. 2 red X's have been drawn over his face. What does it mean? Is he in danger? Is he hurt? Is he... I can't finish the thought. I grab my phone with trembling fingers, scroll to the number I promised myself I wouldn't call again. His number. It rings and rings. No answer. I try Marco next. Straight to voicemail. Panic rises in my throat, tight and choking. I stare at the photos spread across my table, at the red X's on Alexei's face, at the image of my mother alone and unprotected. The doorknob rattles. Someone is trying to get in. I grab a knife from the kitchen drawer, hold it tight as I back away from the door. My heart pounds so hard I can hear it in my ears. The rattling stops. Then a familiar voice. Maya. Relief floods through me. Alexei? I run to the door, fumble with the locks, throw it open. He stands there, looking nothing like himself. His suit is wrinkled, his hair messy, a dark bruise spreading across one cheekbone. But he's alive. He's here. Are you okay? I ask, pulling him inside, looking him over for injuries. I'm fine. His eyes are on the photos spread across my table. You got them too. 2? You got photos? He nods, touching the edge of one picture. Me at the coffee shop yesterday. They found you. Who? I ask, though I already know the answer. My enemies. The ones who tried to poison me. He looks up at me, his eyes dark with worry. The ones who want to hurt me by hurting you. And my mother? His jaw tightens. I've already sent men to bring her to a safe place. Somewhere they can't find her. Relief makes me weak again. I sit down, the knife still clutched in my hand. Alexei gently takes it from me, sets it on the table. What happened to you? I ask, gesturing at his bruised face, his rumpled clothes. The shipment was a trap, he says, sitting across from me. They were waiting for us. Marco was taken. My hand flies to my mouth. Marco, is he... alive, for now. They want to trade. For what? Alexei's eyes meet mine. For you. The words hang in the air between us, heavy and cold. For you. They want me. Why? I whisper. I'm nothing to them. You're everything to me, Alexei says simply. They know that. Everything to me. The words make my heart beat faster even as fear clutches at my throat. What are you going to do? Get you somewhere safe. Get your mother somewhere safe. Then get Marco back. How? He shakes his head. You don't need to know the details. I want to help, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Absolutely not. Alexei stands up, starts pacing my small kitchen. I already put you in danger by coming into your life. I won't make it worse. I stand too, blocking his path. You didn't put me in danger. I chose to stay. I chose you. And then, you chose to leave. He reminds me, his voice suddenly hard. Because I was scared. I step closer to him. Not of your enemies or the danger. I was scared of how I felt about you. Of what it meant to care about someone who lives in your world. His face softens slightly. And now I'm still scared, but I'm more scared of losing you. For a long moment, we just look at each other. Then his phone rings, breaking the silence. He answers, his face turning to stone as he listens. "When?" he asks. "And you're certain?" Another pause. "Keep watching. I'm on my way." He hangs up, looks at me with new urgency. "They're moving Marco tonight, taking him to a restaurant downtown, the Blue Pearl. It's owned by the Bratva." "The who?" "Russian Mafia." He's already moving toward the door. "I need to go. My men are waiting downstairs to take you to a safe house." "Wait." I grab his arm. "Let me help." "Maya, they don't know me as well as they know your men," I say quickly. "I can get close without being noticed." "No. You brought me into this world," I remind him. "Let me use what I've learned." He stares at me for a long moment, conflict clear on his face. Then, slowly, he nods. Hours later, I'm dressed in a black server's uniform, my hair pulled back tight, walking into the Blue Pearl restaurant. The plan is simple, but dangerous. I'll pose as a new server, get eyes on Marco, pass him a message about which exit to use, and when the fire alarm goes off, help him get to the southwest exit where Alexei's men will be waiting. My heart pounds as I walk through the kitchen, nodding to the real staff like I belong there. The kitchen is hot and loud, smelling of garlic and wine and sweat. I grab a tray of empty glasses, the perfect excuse to look around. The dining room is dimly lit, tables covered in white cloths, candles flickering. I scan the room slowly, carefully, the way Alexei taught me. There, in the back corner. Marco sits with two large men, his face bruised, his hands flat on the table where they can see them. Guards. I move around the room, filling water glasses, getting closer to his table. When I reach it, I keep my head down, my movements smooth and practiced. "More water?" I ask softly. Marco's eyes flick up to mine. A tiny flash of recognition, quickly hidden. "Please," he says, his voice rough. As I pour, I slide a folded napkin under his hand. "Southwest exit. 10 minutes." Back in the kitchen, I slip into the storage room where I left my bag. Inside is a small device Alexei gave me, a smoke bomb that will trigger the fire alarm without causing real damage. I set it behind some boxes, light it with shaking hands, then hurry back to the dining room. 3 minutes later, the fire alarm blares. Smoke pours from the kitchen. People jump up, confused and scared. The guards at Marco's table stand, looking toward the commotion. "Now." I move quickly to Marco's side. "This way," I whisper, helping him up. We walk fast, but not running, heading for the southwest exit as planned. One of the guards shouts, spots us moving the wrong way. A gunshot cracks, loud even over the alarm. People scream, dropping to the floor. I feel something hot graze my arm. Pain blooms, sharp and sudden. But I keep moving, pushing Marco ahead of me toward the exit. We burst outside into the cool night air. Black cars wait, engines running. Alexei's men jump out, guns drawn, more shots behind us. I feel Marco being pulled away from me into a car, then strong arms around me, lifting me, carrying me. Alexei's face above mine, his eyes wild with fear and something else, pride. "You're hit," he says, his voice tight with worry as he puts me in a car. I look down at my arm. My sleeve is soaked with blood, but the pain is distant now, dulled by adrenaline. "Just a graze," I say. "Marco?" "Safe. Thanks to you." Alexei presses a cloth to my arm, his hands gentle despite the chaos around us. "You could have been killed." "So could you," I reply, suddenly tired. "Every day. That's the choice, isn't it? To love someone knowing you might lose them." The word hangs between us. Love. I've never said it to him before, never even admitted it to myself. His eyes soften, his hand coming up to touch my face. "I won't change who I am. he says quietly. But I would change how I operate. For you. Legitimate businesses, less violence. And I won't pretend to be blind to the things you've done, I counter. But I would help you find a better way forward. In the chaos of that night, amid blood and fear and triumph, we make our choice. Not perfect, not pure, but ours. Take me home, I whisper, meaning his penthouse, meaning wherever he is. Yes, he says simply, holding me close as the car speeds away into the night. Home. A year has passed since I knocked on the wrong door. A year since fate or chance or bad luck brought me to Alexei Volkov. The seasons have come and gone, winter snow melting into spring rain, summer heat fading into fall leaves. And with each passing day, our worlds have grown more entwined, like vines that can't be separated without breaking. I stand at the large window of what is now our home, pressing my palm against the cool glass. 30 floors below, the city wakes up, people moving like tiny ants, cars crawling along streets. From up here, they look so small. Their problems so far away. My arm still bears a thin white scar from that night at the Blue Pearl. It's faded now, barely visible unless you know to look for it. But I see it every day, a reminder of choices made, of paths taken. Behind me, I hear the soft click of a door opening. Alexei steps into the room, his hair still damp from the shower. He wears a gray suit today, perfectly fitted as always, but his tie hangs loose around his neck, waiting for my hands to fix it. Good morning, he says, coming to stand beside me at the window. His voice is deep and warm, no longer holding the edge of coldness it once did. Morning, I reply, turning to face him. I reach up, take the ends of his tie in my hands. This has become our ritual. Me helping him with this small thing before he goes out to face his world. Our world now. The Chen Foundation called, he says as I work. They want to know if you'll speak at the fundraiser next month. For the Children's Hospital. I smile, pleased. The Chen Foundation, named for my mother, funded by Alexei, provides medical care for children whose families can't afford it. It was the first of his legitimate businesses, started 6 months ago when he promised to change. I'll call them back today, I say, smoothing his tie against his chest. There. Perfect. His hand catches mine, holds it over his heart. You're going to be late for your meeting. I'm the boss. I can be late if I want to. He smiles at that, one of his rare full smiles that lights up his eyes. The perks of power. I've come to understand those perks well. After the night at the Blue Pearl, after Marco was rescued and my arm healed, Alexei kept his promise to change. Not all at once. Old habits and old businesses don't disappear overnight. But slowly, piece by piece. The import company came first, bringing in art and wine and other luxury items, all legal, all above board. Then the security firm, using the skills of his men to protect instead of threaten. Then the foundation, turning money that once bought power into something that helps people. I've helped with all of it, seeing opportunities others miss, spotting problems before they grow too big. My eye for detail, once used to serve his darker business, now builds something better. I'm different too. No longer a tired delivery girl, no longer afraid of shadows. I stand straighter now. I speak with more confidence. I wear the mantle of my new life, like a second skin. I should go, Alexei says, though he doesn't move away. I have that meeting with the investors. For the new hotel? He nods. They're nervous about working with me. My reputation still follows me. Then charm them, I say simply. Show them the man I see. His eyes soften. And who is that man, Maya Chen? Someone who can change. Someone who keeps his promises. Someone who chose love over power. Later that morning, I sit in my office downtown, It's nothing like Alexei's sleek, cold space. Mine is warm, with plants in the corners and art on the walls. Photos of my mother sit on my desk, along with a small blue stone Alexei gave me after I was hurt. For courage, he had said, pressing it into my palm. A knock at the door pulls me from my thoughts. "Come in," I call. Detective Rivera steps inside, closing the door behind her. She looks the same as she did that day outside my old apartment. Sharp eyes, tired face, hands in the pockets of her long coat. "Ms. Chen," she says with a small nod, "you've done well for yourself." I put down my pen, lean back in my chair. "What can I help you with, Detective?" She walks slowly around my office, looking at the certificates on the wall. My business license, my charity award, my new degree in business management that Alexei insisted I finish. "Just checking in," she says finally, "making sure you're here by choice." The question makes me smile. A year ago, it would have made me afraid. I've never been more certain of my choices. She nods, but I can tell she's not convinced. People don't change their nature, Maya. No, I agree, thinking of Alexei. But they can channel it differently. She studies me for a long moment, as if trying to see beneath my skin to the truth below. Then she sighs. "Be careful. The world he built doesn't disappear just because he's trying to be legitimate now." "I know," I say simply. I have my eyes open. When she leaves, I sit for a while, turning her words over in my mind. She's right, of course. Alexei's old world still exists in shadows at the edges of our new life. Men still fear his name. Enemies still watch from a distance, but we've built something strong enough to withstand those shadows. That evening, as the sun sets over the city, Alexei and I stand together on the balcony of our home. The air smells like rain coming, clean and fresh. His arm is warm around my waist, my head resting against his shoulder. "I had a visitor today," I tell him. "Detective Rivera." I feel him tense slightly. "What did she want?" "To make sure I'm safe. To warn me that your past doesn't just disappear." He's quiet for a moment, his eyes on the horizon where pink and orange paint the sky. "She's not wrong." "I know." I turn in his arms to face him. "I don't expect your past to vanish, Alexei. I just care about the future we're building." His hand comes up to touch my face, gentle as always. "Do you ever regret it?" he asks suddenly. "Knocking on my door that morning?" I consider the question seriously, the way he deserves. I regret some of what came after. The danger, the fear, the compromises. He waits, patient. "But no, I don't regret meeting you. You showed me a strength in myself I never knew existed. And you showed me there are things worth changing for," he replies, his arm tightening around me. We're not a fairy tale. The shadows of his past still reach for us sometimes. My moral compass still wavers when difficult decisions must be made, but we've created a balance that works, a life in the gray area between his darkness and my light. Last week, we learned that one of his old associates was stealing from the new businesses. In the old days, that man would have disappeared. Now, we turned him over to the police with evidence of his crimes. Progress, even if it's slow. My mother asks fewer questions these days when I visit her. She likes Alexei, says he has kind eyes despite his stern face. "He looks at you like you're the sun," she told me once, smiling. A man who looks at a woman like that will move mountains for her. She doesn't know that he already has. The wind picks up, making me shiver slightly. Alexei notices, always attuned to my smallest movements. He guides me back inside, where lights glow warm and soft music plays. This space is ours, built from the pieces of both our worlds. His taste for luxury tempered by my simpler needs. Tomorrow will bring new challenges. There are still rivals who want what Alexei has built. There are still police who watch our every move. There are still moments when I wonder if we can really escape the gravity of his past. But tonight, in this moment, we have found our balance. Not perfect, not pure, but ours. We make quite the team, little bird, he murmurs against my hair, using the nickname he gave me months ago. I smile, thinking of the tired delivery girl I once was, struggling under the weight of too many burdens. Thinking of the complicated, powerful woman I've become. Yes, I agree, turning in his arms to face the man who changed my life, and whose life I changed in return. We do. Outside, the first drops of rain begin to fall, washing the city clean for another day. Inside, we hold each other, neither of us perfect. Neither of us completely good or completely bad, but somehow better together than we ever were apart. Sometimes the wrong door turns out to be exactly the right one.